Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to get the latest updates.
Let's go back in time by around 170 years. The year was 1848. One day, a construction worker at a sawmill in California saw something glittering in the water. When he went near, he found some small pieces of yellow metal. That was gold. Soon this news of gold discovery spread across the world, and more than 3 lakh people from all over America and abroad rushed to California in search of gold. It was a gold rush. Around $2 billion worth of gold was extracted. But out of the thousands of people who came searching for gold, very few struck it rich. Rest only collected dust. But here's the interesting part. The big money was not made by people who came in search of gold, but it was made by people who supplied products and services to these crazy gold miners, like the businessman named Levi Strauss. Levi was a Bavarian immigrant who arrived in San Francisco during the gold rush. He saw miners putting in 16-hour days in their hunt for gold, and this demanding work required sturdy pants. So Levi started a business of selling durable jeans to these gold miners. This business was so successful that Levi's became a global manufacturing empire, producing Levi's denim jeans. Today, this jeans making company, a backdoor player in the gold rush, is valued at over $10 billion. Now, what happened during the California gold rush is not a one-time story. The same story repeats again and again throughout the history in every gold rush. I have studied all major gold rushes that have happened over the last 200 years. And what I have found is, in every gold rush, the majority of the participants fail. Only a few manage to find success. But here's something interesting. In every gold rush, there are these little known backdoor players. They don't participate in the gold rush directly, but instead they make their money providing key products and services to the main players. That way, they get to ride the opportunity all the way through without any worry about who will make it big and who will not. And by acting in this smart way, they manage to make big fortunes. Like Levi's made supplying jeans to gold miners during the California gold rush. You can flip through history books going back many decades and you will see the same pattern repeating again and again in every gold rush. Take for instance the personal computer gold rush in 1990s. Today we take PCs for granted, but this was not the case back then. Only a small portion of the population owned PCs. Many companies participated in the hyper-growth phase of the personal computer gold rush, but most of them struggled to make money due to the cutthroat competition. One by one, these PC makers started going out of business. Commodore declared bankruptcy, Wipro ceased PC manufacturing, Xerox exited the computer business, Philips sold their PC division, Compaq sold to HP, IBM sold the PC business to Lenovo. HCL Infosystems, India's first homegrown PC manufacturing company, shut down, and so on. This cruel competition took a heavy toll on the majority of the participants. But the backdoor players who supplied products and services to these main players kept churning cash due to the constant flow of business. In the PC gold rush, this backdoor player was a processor maker named Intel. No matter which brand of PC you own, all of them needed a computing processor. And that's what Intel supplied to almost all the PC makers. As a result, it made a massive fortune. Over the last 4 decades, Intel's stock has grown by leaps and bounds. It has offered investors a mind-blowing 26,931% returns. That's like converting a small sum of rupees 1 lakh into a whopping 2.7 crore rupees, or a sum of rupees 2 lakh into 5.4 crores in just 4 decades. This is a perfect example to tap into the gold rush without taking undue risk of who's going to win big in the final race. And right now, this gold rush is happening in the electric vehicle space. So could we see this kind of stellar gains from some Indian backdoor players over the long term? Why not? In just a while, I will reveal to you details of the hidden opportunity I mentioned earlier. And I will also share details of 3 stocks which are potentially best placed to tap into this opportunity. But before that, let me tell you about a more recent gold rush that has happened in the smartphone industry and how the same story repeated. Main players struggled due to intense competition, and backdoor players made fortunes with a constant flow of business. After 2007, the sales of smartphones skyrocketed. from just around 100 million per year in 2007 to over 1.2 billion per year now. This exponential growth attracted many electronics companies to this business. But in this smartphone gold rush, only a few companies like Samsung, Apple, Huawei, Xiaomi found success. Most others struggled. LG shut down its mobile phone business. Sony pulled the plug in many markets. HTC struggled to sell its smartphones. BlackBerry, once a market leader, couldn't keep up with the competition. Panasonic gave up their efforts. Even the legendary Microsoft failed in the smartphone business due to intense competition. Despite almost vertical growth in this industry, many players found it tough to survive. Not just the small companies, but even the giants like LG, Sony, BlackBerry and Microsoft. But one company made a truckload of money in this market. Not by making smartphones, but by selling wireless chips to these smartphone makers. The company I'm talking about is Broadcom. Broadcom was a backdoor player in the smartphone gold rush. It supplied a key product, that is the wireless chips, to the main players. Broadcom supplied several chips used in smartphones, like chips for Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, chips for GPS, chips for connecting your phone to mobile networks. It is very likely that the phone you're using right now is using one of the Broadcom wireless chips. Over the last few years, Broadcom has sold billions of these chips and made solid money in the process. Just see how the stock has performed over the last decade. And you can see it has offered a mind-blowing 3,761% returns. Enough to convert a small sum of rupees 1 lakh into 38.6 lakhs or rupees 2 lakhs into 77 lakhs in just 12 years. In this smartphone gold rush, where even big players like LG, Sony, BlackBerry and Microsoft struggled, this little-known backdoor player named Broadcom made sky-touching gains for its investors. This same pattern repeats again and again throughout history in every gold rush. And I believe the same story is going to play out in the electric vehicle gold rush as well. Today, all major automakers are rushing in to profit from this mega opportunity. But heavy competition is going to hit them very hard. Despite hyper growth happening in this industry, most automakers could struggle to grow. Whereas the backdoor players supplying key products and services to these automakers could potentially grow exponentially over the long term. So who are these backdoor players that could emerge winners in the EV gold rush? Well, as I said, we have already uncovered 3 companies for you.